Hello and welcome back to Notable Trends here at Bulls and Bears Daily. I'm Dustin. We're looking at Target. Target is the most notable change that we see on our screen today on the app. You should have the images in your email. The reason why is because this thing has been essentially getting body bagged ever since 2021, and now we are getting confirmation of another move downward. What's quite concerning, if you look at this chart, is that, by the way, it's down 1 year, it's down 27%, 6 months, it's down 20 plus percent, 3 months, it's down 4 plus percent. It's been really ugly even as of recently. And you can look at this. This is a 9 month chart to the side. The highest that we see is at 181 back in February of 2023. We're now down at 125. If we look at the weekly chart, this is the weekly chart of Target going all the way back to May of 2020. Almost, this is 3 years of data, and 2020 COVID is pretty much gone. So now what we have to look back at is really just the peak that we saw in 2021 in August, the peak ascent that we saw again in November of 2021 when all markets peaked, and then this peak here in April of 2022. Ever since then, we've essentially seen sideways action to down. We've recently gotten more downward movement in, not surprisingly, I guess, is May. It looks like these big drops are in May for Target, or at least as of late. We look at the chart, the daily chart. It's concerning because we're coming back to a level that we haven't. We're breaching a level. That's what I think is concerning. We're actually breaching levels. We were at 126 before, and we've broken below it. We've already hit down all the way down to 121. And if we look at the actual data itself, I want to take a look at the daily charts and the daily data here for Target. If we look at this, it's essentially been a go short for a long time. And what I find to be interesting, the reason why it's on the list today is because it's finally flipped bearish on its intermediate or its longer term daily sentiment. So it's finally flipped bearish 2 days in a row. Look how long it's been bullish. I mean, this thing has been bullish since it was 132. So it's really interesting that it was 132. It's seen a little bit of highs, 135, and then it's been muddling around. But even in here, it was still bullish until it hit 125. I mean, that says a lot about not only the resilience of the signal. I think it's really important to pay attention to how long term that signal, what opportunity it gave for Target to be a good long, but what it says about the moment of how bad it must be for it to be flipping bearish. I mean, we're negative on the 1 day. Yes, we're positive on the 5 day right now. We're rolling negative return on the 15 day, 1 month, 3 month, and 6 month. And on the 3 month and 6 month, it's been, I mean, we've been rolling negative at least 2 days in a row since April of 2023 at 160 on the 3 month. That by itself, you don't want to use a one factor model. You want to use more signals than just one individual thing. It's not like a moving average or something like that, but that would have been a good signal. So now we see this thing flip completely bearish now. We still have go shorts in the intermediate and the longer term across the board. We look at it on the weekly as well. What's interesting is that we've essentially had these negative signals for so long. I mean, the 1 year return flipped negative on the 20th of May. You can see it's been negative ever since. So is the 15 month. And this actually was the week where everything flipped at the exact same time, May of 2022, which, I mean, of course, that's what this is right here. It's really that big change in the stock when you had a gigantic drop. I think it was down like 25%. But that right there was the beginning of the end of Target, or at least the beginning of the bearish trend in Target. And we're just getting another confirmation today on the daily. That's a really strong signal if you believe that these 2 days back to back, if we can hold it tomorrow, are going to be an opportunity for you to say, like, okay, I can get long-term short on Target. And you don't have a position on the company like for any other reason than just the fundamental price is telling you the sentiment is rolling over. We're at 50%. We peaked. It looks like it's 61. It's below the 15-day moving average. We definitely are going to have on the trading signals. We've had a buy signal back in August, which I love. I love this setup. We've got our falling peaks. You've got some coming falling bears, big bears, small bears. We're going to have 2 of our bear Q3. I mean, when we look at what we see from the data from Target, it just looks like this is an opportunity for us to really pay attention to where it is in its range. So we'll look at the volatility, the daily sentiment indicator. What just a rollover. The volume is picked up as we've seen price go down. The volatility is kind of muted, actually. It's kind of been sideways, and it's just a negative correlation. So the volatility has just risen and stayed high, and it's just a negative correlation. That's just weird to see because normally the volatility and the correlation don't work like that. But you get what you get. I mean, now we can look at the daily trade range for Target, and yeah, the bottom is at 119. It's not the lowest price that we've ever seen. It was 111 back in June, but it looks like the top has come down. The top was up at 139. Now it's down at 135. I mean, when you look at Target, there's a lot of opportunity for this thing to move downwards to like 100. 100's, it looks like in the realm of possibilities here for target long term. If the weekly trend continues to hold, I mean the top is coming down even on the weekly trend. The top recently again was in June at 191. So you just are hopeful that your signal's either correct or things turn around if you're a shareholder. Because when we look at this, right now the bear sentiment is definitely something you want to pay attention to and respect. I mean, we rolled over completely from this bullishness. We're completely underneath this 15-day moving average of ultra fast bullishness. And we're at 50%. We can go all the way back down to where we were here when it's 29% bullishness. That's a ridiculous. You barely see it in the 20s. Maybe 1% of the time you see it in the 20s, to be honest. Like 35 is pretty aggressive. 32, we're probably topping out at 29% bullishness for target. Ooh, things have gotten ugly in this stock. I have not looked at this in a while. We're at 43% even on the weekly. Now we are positive in green, but again, it's plateaued. It's not moving at all. It's not moving at all. Look at the volatility. Volatility is breaking out. Correlation is it's now starting to rise a little bit, which is interesting. That's interesting that on the weekly, you're getting a different kind of move than you're seeing in the daily, but the daily is reflecting what the weekly has been ever since August of 2021, down and to the right. So if you get a little bit more down and to the right, I'd follow it.